Hey, how you doing, everybody? Cooking with Chef Dan here, drinking my coffee. How you like this mug, eh? This is my happy face. Isn't that cute? Every chef should have their own mug. I got a little glare here. Let me fix that. Boy, it's been getting really, really nice out. This weekend it's like 4 degrees. Nothing wrong with that. Get rid of all that snow we had. We had a huge snowstorm. My cat disappeared for like 3 days. He finally came back. Cats always come back, you know. So, anyways, let's put this guy down. I got a thing for the Seven Dwarfs. I like the Seven Dwarfs. It's a cute story, you know. So I'll put it here. You go to the Disney store and you can get that mug. They got all different kinds of things, you know, mugs from Beauty and the Beast and stuff like that. They make really good presents. I bought that for myself, really. But speaking of things that you can buy, I go to the thrift store today. Do you know what I found? Ta-da! You know what this is? It's like a grinder. I'll take that off of it. It cost me $5. Now, if I got this anywhere, it would be like $30 minimum. All right. So I got this little thing here and the bowl. And you squish up your spices like that. And you all get squished together. And there's no chips in it, nothing. It's really nice. On the bottom it said Milton Brook, Wade, established 1810. These things have been around a long time, but very, very good for spices. I'm going to throw the saffron that I bought a couple days ago in it, and I'm going to make some rice with tonight's dinner. So again, we're boiling the saffron, all right, and the liquid will be a pink liquid that's going to be mixed with the rice, turning the rice pink. Yay! So anyways, you know, I was thinking today that would look really good with sushi. You know, I'm going to make a sushi. I wanted to do something on sashimi, but we're going to get some more experience from a friend of mine cutting fish first, and then we're going to make a video on it. So we'll cut some sashimi. It's pretty much just raw fish, you know, put really nicely on a plate. Sashimi. And different tunas, the yellow and whatnot. So anyways, that's what I got at the thrift store. It is awesome. Very awesome. Make sure there's no breaks in it. All right. Because that's where bacteria tends to build up, you know, and bad stuff. You know, that's why you got to throw away your dishes that have breaks in the dishes, you know, you got to throw that away. So my main reason for making this video today, other than I like making lots of videos, subscribe, is that I wanted to show everybody the digital scale situation, because no matter where you're working, okay, you're going to have to prep food, you're going to have to digitally weigh foods. If you're making hamburgers, all right, you got to know that there's 6 ounces, that there's 3.2 ounces, that there's whatever ounces they use for burgers. The smash burger is usually around 3.2 ounces. The regular burger is usually around 6 ounces. You know, 6-ounce burgers roughly, you know, for a regular burger. Remember, don't squish your burger too much, you know. And it's 160 degrees, right? Fahrenheit. So you always check. My thermometer is actually in my book bag. So I'm going to take out my scale. I got this scale from school when I graduated from college, and it's a perfectly good scale. I mean, like I was telling you, Jean Couture and Vanier here, they sell scales. They sell all kinds of kitchenware, at a good, reasonable price, like the immersion blender, the handheld blender. I mean, you can do anything. I made a soup, all right, last night, and I used green beans in a can. Okay, because the great thing about vegetables in a can is they're already soft. Okay, but I mean, think about it. So you got your onion, you chop it up, and a fine dice. All right, little dice cubes, and you put a little oil in there. Maybe a garlic infused oil is really nice. All right, you don't need something that burns a higher temperature, but you can use it because, the infusion of garlic. If you don't have garlic, you don't have ginger. It's got you have these oils at the store, and they're only like $4. All right, little bottles like this, and one's garlic and ginger infused, one's hot pepper and something else infused, and you got different kinds, right? So I mean, you can use that to supplement your garlic if you don't have garlic in the fridge. All right, so anyways, you throw in a little bit. You throw in your onions. You let it go a little transparent there, and then what I did was I poured in. I boiled little potatoes. All right, not big potatoes, but little ones. All right, and they're just little ones like this, and 5 or 6 of them, because it's just me eating by myself. So. 5 or 6 of them, so they became soft, boiling by themselves. I threw them in with the onions that were now translucent, and I threw in some milk, just regular milk. I mean, you might want to use 35%. It's totally up to you. Some places, if they're making a batch of mashed potatoes, they'll use 35% cream. Throw that in, and it makes really nice mashed potatoes. All right. But personally, I could do it with milk. All right. But don't be afraid. 35% cream. Throw it in there. All right. And very nice mashed potatoes. So I just put a little bit, like 100 mils, 50 mils. It depended on the potatoes. So. And then I squished them up with my masher, right? And then I threw in the beans, that the green beans that were in a can. Threw those in there, and they're already soft, right? So I squished them all together again with my potato masher. The one that looks like that. That one, okay. So you're mashing it, and once it's mashed enough, all right, you got the liquefaction with the milk, and so now there's enough that you can take your hand immersion blender and get in there in the pot, and just go zzz, like that, and there's enough that you can blend it just fine, and you do it for a good 5-8 minutes even. Okay, I mean, it's not something you need to throw into a Ninja or into a big machine, a big blender to do. Just use an immersion blender. Just sit there for 8 minutes, zzz, like that, until it's all soupy and it turns to a nice green. And so that's what I did. I had a little bit of salt and pepper, and it was good. And you could go with white pepper on something like that, that keep the specks out of it. And but I was thinking a long time ago, a little bit of Gruyere cheese and asparagus, little Gruyere cheese, a little asparagus, a little green bean, right? Okay, a little potato, and a little bit of cream or milk. Mix that up together. Would that ever be good? Right? Would that be good? Am I nuts here? Is that just like the awesomest thing? Oh, I want to try it. So anyways, let's get back to this. This is the scale they give you at college. All right. And Okay, so they have functions on it. They got unit, they got tare, they got hold, and then they got an on-off button. Typically, you're going to use your tare button, you're going to use the unit button, and you're going to use the on-off button. I don't think I've used the hold button too much. So hypothetically, or not. So let's say we got our glass here, our mug, right? And there's coffee in it. Oh yeah, good coffee. So I'm going to turn that on. Now it's set on ounces. All right. So you got to know that what's 1,000 grams, right? 1,000 grams. What's a pound? 454. What's 1,000 grams? A kilogram, right? 1,000 milliliters. I mean, you have to be able to change it into a form. So I mean, I got it on ounces. I can switch to pounds. I can switch to fluid ounces, to grams, to milliliters, and back to ounces. 16 ounces. So your conversions is something that you kind of need to know. All right. And in school, you're going to take calculations. You're going to take count class. And you don't even need to take count class. But when you need to know tare, for instance, remember I was reading tare the other day from my little green book here. Right. So where's tare? Oh, I'm on pounds. 24 ounces. Where's my tare calculations, formulas? There's so much stuff here. Main calculations. Okay, so your main calculations involving. So if you got if the price is $11.99 per kilo, that's as purchased cost price. All right, of a trout. Trout costs $11.99. And your trout weighs 400 grams. All right. Now you're going to cut off the head of the trout. You're going to cut the fins off the trout. You're going to get the garbage off the trout, the guts. And that trim, all those garbage, all the cuts, it's not necessarily garbage. Okay. You can use that as fish stock if you want to later. But I'm just saying we're calling it trim. All right. It could be silver skin from a chunk of meat. All right. It's not edible. All right. But, we're using the idea of it's a trout. So, I mean, you got 400-gram trout and you take the head off and all the guts out, and that adds up to 190 grams. All right. So you have 210 grams worth of meat out of that trout. So that's 400 minus 190 equals 210 grams. All right. So that is what you got for $11.99. Well, of course, you could use the head and the guts for stock. So, I mean, you don't have to put anything to waste, right? So, let's see. Yield percent. So, you got 210 grams. You're going to divide it by 400, all right, because it's 400. Trout equals 400 grams. 210 grams divided by 400 equals 0.525, which is the yield percent. 0.525. 525 is 53%. 5.2, so it goes to 5.3. So it's 5.3, it's 53%. All right. So now you're going to take the cost, which is $11.99, and you're going to divide it by 0.525, which is the 53% yield percentage. All right. And that's going to give you $22.83. And that's your edible portion cost. All right. Edible portion cost. If the EP cost is always greater than the AP cost, the EP cost is always greater than the AP cost. So this one is used often in restaurants. That's why I call it a main calculation. A main calculation. A lot of chefs will need to record how much trim is taken off of a product. All right. How much you're going to get, the edible portion cost. comes to $22.83. The price per kilo was $11.99, right, of trout. There's all kinds of good stuff here. So anyways, if you need to, write it down. All right. If you need to know that 454 grams is a pound, you could look at a stick of butter, but you can also have this in your back pocket. Or if you're a millennial, I guess you can Google it. One reason I have a scale is because in my old age, oh man, I'm not that old yet. I'm not 50 yet, but I'm working on it. So, and you get older, you got to watch out for certain things like salt. All right. I am a big chip eater. I eat chips like crazy. So, the next alternative are the, crispy minis. There's not a lot of chips in here. Chips are full of salt in it. I mean, there's so much that has salt in it in this world, and two dangerous things in this world are salt and sugar. I swear to holy heaven, a Lord and Father in heaven, and all that other stuff, and this is and that's. Whatever God you believe in, it doesn't make a difference. I don't think it really makes a difference. The thing about salt and sugar is that sugar will rot your teeth. All right. And salt will rot your insides. Bada boom, bada bing. So when you're weighing out your when with sugar, you want to scale it. All right. So you get a little tablespoon. It says 1 TBS. All right. And you put it into your sugar bag. So every time you go to make a coffee, you want to put this much coffee, instant coffee, this much sugar, and that's it. You're not going to pour the sugar in like this until it looks like it's covered the whole bottom of the cup. That's what I used to do. That was the thing. It just didn't matter. When you're 20, 25, even 35, you don't really care. But if you don't care long enough, you're going to lose teeth. And you don't want to lose teeth because without teeth, you don't look pretty anymore. So that's the sugar. As the salt, your insides are going to rot. Sodium is extremely caustic to the innards of your body. Extremely caustic. And it says that in the Merck Index. If you don't believe me, read it. Or Google it, I guess. You can Google it because you're millennials, So they Google everything, Nothing wrong with Googling. Nothing wrong with it. I keep my phone in my back pocket because I Google all the time. If I don't know something, I Google it. It's worth the $200 a month. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mise en place a bunch of bags. All right. Mise en place. You're getting it ready. All right. When you get bags ready, you open them up. Now these crispy minis are not $1.59 like a bag of chips is. And it is why, aside from the salt, that I am mise en placing my little Ziplocs here. These Ziplocs were $75 for $10 the other day at the grocery store on MacArthur. Now, my crispy minis were $3.99 each. 2 for $7. They look really good. This one's sweet chili. This one is all dressed. But what's totally disgusting is that they're only 100 grams each. That's it, 100 grams. Like, I eat a 200-gram bag of chips in one night. Easy. And that's why I have to start watching my salt. Because, I mean, the older you get, the more you have to be aware of what goes into your body. Because what goes into your body reflects on your life. It will eventually slow you down. It will eventually cause you to deteriorate in one fashion or another. And if you don't notice it doing anything, a few years later, you're going to have liver problems or something like that. Something's going to happen. Something breaks down eventually. Something will break down. So to stop it from breaking down, to make sure that you're going to live to be 85, 90 years old, even 115, like some people can somehow make it to, you have to be aware of what you're eating. So, I love this thing. This is so cool. I've been wanting one for a while. I mean, I don't have much to, but when I make my chicken, I go into my spice rack and I just like to put all my spices, in there, mix them up together, and bang, I got it. Typically, I'm sprinkling each chicken, like this, and I gotta close it, put it in the rack, take another one, sprinkle, and it takes a long time. But if I put them all together like this, then I can transfer it into my pepper grinder, right? So I'm not putting pepper in it. I'm putting my allspice. So I'm putting my creation of different spices into it. And then I just do this right over my chicken, right? And I can make a whole bunch all at once. So anyway, there's a dozen reasons why you can have that grounding the pepper if you don't have a pepper grinder. So let's get back to this. We're at 22 minutes now. We're not going to make too long. So 100 and two different kinds. I have 4 bags here ready. We could put 50 in each. I don't know, if I could eat a whole bag of chips in one night, then the cost of that, so this was $8 for these 2 bags. So $8, if they're regular chips, I could buy 5 bags of regular chips for $8. So I need at least 5 bags or 6, right? So I only got 4. So I'm going to get 2 more. Now I have to divide. Okay. That's 3 from each. 3 divided by 100. Was that 33.333? I believe. Let's centennial it. Let's Googlefy it. I know it's 33. It's got to be 33, right? Okay. What's 100 divided by 3?
The answer is approximately 33.333333.
I mean, you do stuff enough time. You don't have to ask yourself how much a pound of butter weighs, What's a pound? Okay, so we need 33 grams in each. So I'm making 3 out of one bag and 3 out of another, and we're going to have 1 bag per night. So it's 33 grams. Doesn't seem like enough, does it? Can I split it into... That's 6. You think I should make 4? Doesn't seem like enough. Like 33 grams one night. I'm going to be going through 2 bags in one night. What if I put, well, then it would be into 2. No, we'll go 33 grams. Okay, we'll do 33 grams. So let's turn this on. Now we need a bowl. Don't I have a bowl here? I can use this one. It's kind of heavy though. I don't know. I guess I can use this one. Okay. Okay, we'll use this one. Ooh, that weighs 909 grams. Wow. It's almost a kilogram, 1,000, right? 1,000, right? Okay. 909 grams. Okay, let's see why I can't do that. Okay, so now you're going to press tear. I'm going to press tear, and it goes back to 0. All right. So you can see there, you see it on top there? It's right on the scale. All right. So it goes to 909 grams. You press tear, and it goes back to 0. Every time you press tear, it takes the weight away from the bowl or that you have on there, so you can weigh exactly right into the bowl. So we need 33 grams, right? That's 27, 28. That's 32. I'm taking one. That's it, 33.5. Take it off. The mise en place, they should be all open. And we're going to pour our chips into the bag. You're in there. There it is. Put that back on the scale. Bang. That is 33.3 grams of crispy minis. That's one day. Now we're going to do another one. 33. There it is, 33. 33.5. It's actually 33.3, but that's okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. Well, yes, it does have to be perfect, but it's okay. I'm just weighing it out. If you're weighing, bakery products, because you're making cookies or something, it's got to be right on. Don't mess with a recipe. The recipe says a number. Make sure that's the number you use. Don't mess with it. Even if you're making a vinaigrette, all right, use what it says to use. Otherwise, you might have an uneven, thing happening. So I'm going to take the air out as I close it, just like I was bagging meat a couple of days ago. And the last one, pretty good. 32.5. There. 31.5. All right. And always be careful when you put your weight back on the scale. You don't want to be you want to treat your scale with respect. You want to be kind to your scale, okay? Don't bang it around. Don't throw things on the scale, hard like, Be nice to your scale, and it'll be nice to you back. Otherwise, you're going to be out there buying a new scale all the time. Right, well, these are pretty good. This one doesn't weigh straight up because I ate some, so I'm going to put it aside, and I'm going to eat that tonight. That can go in the garbage. And we're going to see what the all dressed tastes like. Those were pretty good, by the way. So, this one's all dressed. Had all dressed chips. It's got a barbecue kind of flavor to it. Definitely tastes like all dressed. And we need 33.3. 32.5. 33, 34. Take one away. 32.5. Okay, we'll go with 32.5. I'm mostly doing this because the cost. It was expensive. But I have to control my salt intake. I keep eating a bag of chips every night. It's going to cause a problem one day. I'm not just saving myself, but I'm saving you. Now, this is a different kind. So because it's a different kind, I'm going to make a mark on it. And then I'm going to know, because I only got two kinds here. I'm at home, so I don't have to date it. I don't have to put my name on it. But I will write what kind it is. And instead of actually writing what kind it is, because I know it's all dressed and not the hot pepper, I'm just going to make a line on it. And remember that the one with the line is all dressed. Now at work, you're going to put your name, you're going to put the date, and you're going to put what it is. The way the restaurant wants you to write what it is. Okay? If it's French fries, then you write French fries. If that's the way the restaurant wants you to write it. Okay? If it's sweet potato fries, and the restaurant only writes sweet potato, or the restaurant just writes SP for sweet potato, then do it the way the restaurant wants you to do it. Don't write it your way, write it their way. It's very important. Okay. So I got a line here. I know this is all dressed. Put that aside. Let's throw another 33.3. 28. 33.5. And that gives me another day worth of snack at night. Right. Ziplocs are a wonderful thing. Where's my marker? There it is. Don't forget. Gotta mark it. That's what these markers are for. They usually go right here, like that. You can't see it because it's a black marker. There we go. All right, and next one, last but not least. Or last but least, anyways. Throw that in there. We've got 31.0. Oh, we got more. Get it all. Don't forget, there's a little bit in the end there, stuck in the corner. Throw that out. 34.5. That allows me to have a piece. 32. That's too big of a piece. Nom 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 nom. Dump that in. And we are done. If you drop one on the floor, it goes in the garbage. Unless you're at home, then you got the 3-second rule. You can't use the 3-second rule at work, okay? If something falls on the floor, it goes in the garbage. Now, I can turn this off now. There, it's off. Now, I have making potatoes, all right, like home fries. You got little potatoes around this big, okay, and you got to cut them in four, 1, 2, with your knife. Cut them in four, and then you throw them into the bus bin. It gets covered, gets thrown into the fridge for when you're ready. Okay, make sure you date it, you put your name on it and what it is. All right, but then it goes into the fridge until the restaurant's ready to have it for the deep fryer. Okay, but there has been times when I drop half of a potato on the floor. Now, some situations you can rinse it under water, all right, and clean it. But it all depends on how it's felt, how you feel about it, when that sort of thing happens. All right. If it's a whole potato, for instance, okay, you can probably wash it under the water, clean it, make sure it's clean under cold water, and then cut it up. It's going in the deep fryer. It should be fine as long as you clean it properly. You should be okay. You cut it in half or in four, and one of those quarters falls on the floor, you might as well just throw it in the garbage. All right. So situations. All right. Did I mark the third one? 1, 2, there's the third one here. No, that's the one I'm going to eat today. Did I forget to mark the third one? They all look the same. Okay, these two are marked. This is the one. This is the one, because that's the third one over here. Okay. Bang. Now I got 1, 2, 3 of that kind, 1, 2, 3 of that kind. And I got 6 days worth of chips or snack for the evening with my beer. or tea or juice or whatever it is that you have around, after dinner, 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock at night. Whatever's your thing. A glass of milk can be your thing. Let's see. So that's about it. I hope you enjoyed. And what should we do next time? I guess I'll think about it and get back to you. I would like to make batter. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways you can make batter. You can make batter with beer. You can make batter with club soda. You can make batter with Mountain Dew. Yeah, we made batter with Mountain Dew. So like cooking halibut, we use beer batter at one of the restaurants, the pub restaurant I worked at. At a breakfast restaurant I worked at, we made batter using Mountain Dew, and that was for I think that was for corn dogs. I got to think about that, but it's for a few different things. Let's see. And there was one place we used a soda, another soda. Yeah, we'll look into that. It sounds pretty interesting. I still got to come up with something for flank steak. I mean, that's a hard one, I mean, this guy, we talk at the grocery store about making steak. I love making steak. It's mouth-watering when I think about it. But I mean, how would you make a steak that you don't usually cook very often? I mean, there's some steaks that are tough. So you don't want to eat it too much. There's some steaks that are like brisket, very, very tasty, lovable steaks, but you don't want to eat too much of it because of saturated fats. Look, saturated, unsaturated, monounsaturated. tell you something about those things, okay? Now, whenever you have too much saturated fat in your body, all right, it could cause a problem in there. And a good way to balance yourself out, all right, is that omega-3 found in fish. All right. So you want that what's found in fish to balance your saturated fats so that the levels don't get too high. You see? It balances. It's a little trick. All right. Don't get too much saturated fats inside you from red meat, for instance, from meats, fried foods, saturated fats. All oils have different levels. Coconut oil is pretty cool because it's got the chain is smaller than the average oil. It's got a smaller chain. I think coconut oil burns at a higher temperature too, kind of like avocado oil. I'm getting hungry. So at 41 minutes, let's call it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching me. Give me a thumbs up. Give me an idea, something, message. Subscribe. We'll get on to new topics shortly. And I hope that students are watching me because you will learn from this. And especially students that are going to the college that I went to, because they're just going to tell you the same thing I'm telling you. And if you watch me first, well, you just might get a little ahead, right? Okay. Have a wonderful day. Thanks again. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.